county where you can park downtown?
Yes.
And not get charged for money? That's like near the YMCA?
Yeah. If you want to get not charged, you want to park near the YMCA, just go. I mean, you have to walk a little bit, but you're already planning to work out anyways, so it doesn't matter. Just a church down there.
Like down the street more?
Basically by the farmers market area. Just type in the farmers market, and then it'll like for the area where it'll be, and then navigate there, even though it's not gonna be open. Once it's basically once you get there, you'll see the church, or if you just see any churches around the area, just park in them because they're churches. It's not going to be unless they have a sign that says visitors, non-visitors will be towed. But I mean, fair enough. I mean, work out wherever you want to work out, I guess. Howdy, howdy. You might just say fuck it. That's what I told you to say. I told you to say fuck it, bro.
Want to get drunk with me tonight?
Maybe. If we start drinking now, then sure, but
I need a reason to stop.
Sure enough, then we can.
It's just like I know I'm wasting money.
I'm cool to drink, I guess.
I know I'm wasting money smoking CBD all the time, and I know I better stop smoking CBD because it just wastes all my fucking money and gets my probation officer mad at me.
Yup, you hear that, man.
I fucking hate my CBD lifestyle. Fucking.
Anyways, Colin, just get out of here. Howdy, howdy. What's boppin', G Dizzle? Whoever's watching. Yeah, G Dizzle was gender neutral term. So yeah, what's boppin', G Dizzle? I have no clue who's watching me. I'm just always close the door a little bit. That way the vape kind of gets like out there. Even though no one's home, I'd still do it because instincts of respect for the family. I don't know. No, I don't have respect for them, but I just am trying to avoid getting kicked out of the house again. So, especially given the fact that I'm basically at minimum a psychopath and don't actually love them, and I can just consider them basically like acquaintances / friends, and they're like, oh, okay. So it was like, hey man, I want you guys to help me pay for my psychiatrical evaluation. They're just like, maybe. And then dad was like, yeah, sure. And then mom was like, I guess we can pay for like half or something. And you're like, okay. Mom's just a bitch. So.
Yeah, she's Jewish as hell. She's a Jewish bitch. She likes to spend money on only herself.
Man, she keeps on trying to convince dad that like I have to get. She keeps on trying to convince dad that like I have to get off insurance at like the age of like 24 or something. I'm like, no, it's 26. And she was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's 24. And then dad looked it up and it was 26. And then she was just like, oh, and like sounded really disappointed. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's why I want to kill her. She's a bitch. Like literally just like that action of how it's like so bitchy, you know what I mean? She's like a cocky attitude towards your children that you should never have when you have kids.
You're right.
Divorce. Like obviously they like if one parent loves their kids and one doesn't, they get a divorce.
I mean, yeah, but when it comes down to it,
they don't ruin their kids' lives and make them deal with a bitchy ass mom. I've never wanted their attitude.
Hey, there's worse parents, Colin. You're just a narcissist, bro, and you think that they're way worse because
I think she's a bitch.
She is a bitch, but she is not like a horrible parent.
No, she's not a horrible bitch. She's just a lazy bitch. She's not a horrible bitch. She's a lazy bitch. She does nothing and then likes to complain about everything that everybody else does. And then she gets jealous at other people for having things and doing things that she can't do because she's a lazy prick. And then gets mad at you for doing things that she doesn't like, and she's arrogant and ignorant. She just yells over nothing, gets mad at nothing, and has no defensive arguments other than yelling and screaming.
I mean, I don't exactly think mom's that great at arguing, but I don't think your arguments are exactly the greatest either most of the time.
Yeah,
so.
Generally beats her arguments. Like when the dishes are done, it's like, yo, you have 3 coffee cups over. I came home And there's still shit everywhere from you guys. There's a huge mess. So how are you gonna tell me to pick up your mess when you don't even pick up your own mess after I do? So you're just wanting me to spot clean a little bit for you while you do sit there and drink your coffee, and then you won't even go and pick up the rest of your mess for your friends that are coming over that are your uncle.
No, that's fair. I mean, just sometimes where they'll just have their pots and pans out for like a day or two, anyways. I'm just kind of like, bruh.
So like, why should I ever respect and value them for? And they don't even support me. Like, mom, last year I bought her a $600 laptop, and she got me a
Yo, man,
beanie. She got me a $20 beanie.
Did I tell you? I already told you how like when I told them like what would happen if I dropped out of college, and they're like, "Oh, nothing. We would still love you." I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't care about that fucking bullshit. Yeah, we already know you're gonna love me as your little doll thing to like manipulating the world. Yeah, we get that." I didn't say it like that, but that's what I was thinking. I pretty much just said like, "Yeah, we already know that." But like when it comes down to what is going to happen to me if I drop out of college, are you going to kick me out of the house? And she's like, "Well, not right away." And I'm like, well, that implies that you are going to kick me out of the house, but when? And she's like, well, that's still up to kind of be decided. Like, if you're working and stuff, and you might be able to pay us rent. And I'm like, because you're gonna make. I'm thinking about like, okay, so I'll have to charge. Now I'll have to pay you to live under a house, even though you brought me into this world against my consent. Cool, okay, that's great. You're like a landlord now because you don't have enough. You don't have enough money to hoard. Like a fucking little dragon, just like, give me gold. It's just like,
She's like an omelet. She looks like a witch. That's why I broke up with Ava, because I always saw mom as a witch, and like I saw Ava as a chipmunk, and I've always in her nose reminded me of a witch, and her cheeks reminded me of a chipmunk, which is like dad. And I was like, this is gross, and that's why I broke up with her.
fair enough. But yeah, when it comes down to it, yeah, she basically said the rule. I was like, concession does. And I know she doesn't give a shit, bro. Yeah, she doesn't. I was basically implying. I was basically.
Most kids,
Colin,
I think it's like 60% of
chill, bro. I know most.
35-year-olds live with their parents.
Yeah, I know. I know most people. I know. Yeah, it's a lot of people that live with their parents at that age. And it's just the thing is like they're fucking ass. Well, here's the thing. Mom's an asshole. Dad was like, I asked Dad because I was like, concession guys, let's all come together and have a little talk. And then basically it came down to me just having a conversation with them. Like, look, here's the thing. Like, I am going to drop out of college. Like, I'm fucking done with this shit. Spanish fucking sucks. Logic is bullshit.
Yeah,
it's like.
I figured you couldn't pass Spanish in the summer, and you're like, I'm free the fuck
Yeah.
out, so you probably.
I just tried Spanish 3 times. It was my 3rd time, and it was like an accelerated course, and it was like worse than even before. And I was like, nope, no. Because I don't give enough fucks. And so I was just like, I didn't want to even really do this degree to begin with at this point. I was just there for funsies. And so basically, I was just like, I'm dropping out of this shit. And so I was just like, yo, Dad, when I'm gonna have to get out of here? Because I am dropping out. And he's like, oh, I don't really care that much. But I guess like, Mom's like, oh, well, you're gonna have to leave though. And he's like, I guess like in like a year and a half. And then Mom's like, just gave him like a look and was like a year and a half, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, she's like a year, and I'm like, and Dad's like, okay, I guess a year, and I was like, sure, fucking. I'm thinking about mine like fucking bitch. Like I'm like, okay, a year is fine. Yeah, I'm like a year.
That's what my probation officer is dealing with me. She's like,
that's because I'm a Machiavellian psychopath, bro. That's because you're. That's because you're a sociopath, Colin, and you're narcissistic. Yeah, I know, but you don't think of the. You don't think of. You don't think of the consequences, Colin. They are nothing to me, also. But when it comes down to it, there are consequences to your actions. You must consider at all points in your life.
But to Elon Musk, they're still nothing. You know what I mean? And that's the way I'm viewing them. As they're politically nothing. They're worthless in the workforce. Their brain's worthless.
That's because you're a fucking cappy, Colin. Life has. You just think of life about dollars, and dollars are meaningless because dollars only buy happiness, but you don't care about happiness. You just care about dollars. So basically, you're a complete hypocrite and don't understand how the world works. You just look at money and just be like, beep, 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 cappy. You're literally just programmed into the. You literally just played. You were indoctrinated. You were indoctrinated by capitalist games, the cookie clickers as a kid, and now you're just sitting here, just like, oh, numbers.
donate to homeless people, and I give them clothes
Ah,
and food.
what?
And
So they
sometimes I
can,
give them cash
so
so they
they,
can go buy alcohol.
so they
and I
can.
tell them to go buy alcohol with my cash instead of meth, so they can at least get calories.
Anthony, listen for him, says my ex mom tried to charge me rent at age 16. Guess he disowned his mom. Even though I lived with my dad and was only visiting for the summer, I gave up my freedom to get a summer job, and she wanted to charge me. Yeah, it's fucked. Like he's like you're like I'm gonna give up my time and effort and like raise myself by paying for my own food and stuff. And there's like, you know what? How can we fuck you more?
Exactly. That's what I'm like. In college, I had to buy all this food and I had to pay for college, and now in all the clothes. Like I'm going to the gym and working on going through so much hygiene and clothes and shit like that and food. And it's like now you guys are gonna like want to charge me rent here during the summer and shit like that. I said no. Like mom will try charging me rent to you. I was like fuck that. Like I'm going back to school. I'd rather stay at the dorm and pay the $20 a day, and I'll never see you again after that.
She says
I literally said that I'll go pay the $20 a day. I'll never come here. You know still how much I came here after my computers broke this year? Never.
Yeah, but
never. Last
if you
year I
want to
stayed
know
every
where,
single week, and Dad enjoyed that. I sat down and talked with Dad for hours.
if you want to know where I get my psychopathic genius from, it's from my mom. Like she's just an absolute bitch. Like she will quite literally.
She moved away. She ran away from Grandma and them. That's where she gets these ideas from that we are able to do it and we should do it. Because she ran away from Upper Michigan from Grandpa. She didn't want to cut wood anymore. So she thinks that she can come, that we can just move on in life, and that she doesn't have to support her kids, and that we're all gonna come back to her like Grandma. That's what she thinks.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what comes down to it, Mom is.
That's not how you support kids. That's not how you raise a family. That's not how you do any of that. That's how you make people hate you. That's how you get.
If he's gonna talk, he needs to join the live stream so we can hear him. Yeah, exactly. If Colin, if you're gonna blab fucking stop, join the live stream so people can actually hear you. If you can click by subbing to me and clicking the fucking link, or let me actually do some dialogue because I'm like trying to talk and then you're just like interrupting, but it's just like all they see is just me staring into the void, just like
Guys, I'm gonna smoke some CBD and go work out my stress because fuck the feds, they on my ass.
Fair enough. Yep. Anyways, yeah, my mom's a bitch. She basically begged when she kicked me out of the house because I disobeyed her rules originally of vaping inside the house. Fuck that bitch. When she kicked me out of the house originally for vaping indoors, which has no negative health effects, it's literally just because I was disrespecting her useless fucking rules. That she was like, "Oh, fuck you! You're getting out of this house in 3 months," and I'm like, "Okay, fine." And she was like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fine. I don't care. You can kick me out. You can kick me out right now. I can sit in my fucking car for a couple of days." She's like, "I'm not gonna kick you out right now, but you have to get out if you're in like 3 months." And I'm like, okay, cool. I still don't care. I'll leave in 3 months then. Goodbye then. Like and she's just like, and then after like 2 weeks, she was just like, I don't actually want you to leave anymore. And I'm like, so you're not kicking me out? And she's like, yeah, I'm not kicking you out. And I'm like, well, too bad, I'm still leaving. I'm talking about when I got kicked out for vaping in the house. And I basically, after like 2 weeks, mom was like, I'm no longer kicking you out. And I was just like, I don't care. I imagine.
I came back because I got arrested and they didn't want me to go live in a Motel 6, and I literally told them that I was still planning I would just go. Yeah. So like.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they basically just. Here's the thing. Oh yeah, I mean that's logical though, because you were literally gonna be like a fucking street hobo drug addict. So. Tyler's a meth head. Same thing.
He was making some rent. He moved out after that and had an apartment for over a year by himself.
I mean, respect, I guess.
DA and shit come into his apartment so much, and that's the reason why I didn't want to, because I knew I would have been fucked. You know what I mean? Living that lifestyle. But if I had to, that's why mom let me back in, and that's what yeah.
Anyways, as same thing as viewer said before, antagonist informant, join the chat or don't.
Tell him that our mom's a psycho bitch.
I'm trying to explain that to him, how basically she's a complete like I get my psychopathic. I get my psychopathy basically from my mother. Essentially, yeah, as I was trying to explain before, the instant she begged me to come back, but I said no. Was by myself, hanging out with my friends, living with them, in an apartment, just renting for 2 years. I graduated high school early and joined the military so that I can move out of my dad's home. I couldn't wait to move out. That's fair. I almost joined the military for the same exact reason, but I was just like, I had very, very staunch stances against the military. I kind of always considered them like a death war machine that's just like basically just how America is. America is basically just a military state that buys and sells weapons and acts as like a world like fucking mercenary gun for hire, and all of it comes down to like our inner trades. Like all that stuff is just like cash just flowing around, just in circles, baby. So-
You're an economist. This is so true.
and
It's
so
so true, Brandon. I'm like not in no
you're like Colin's like I'm a business major, and what Colin you're saying is pretty much right. And so So when it comes down to it, I kind of fucking hate the military with burning passion, but I was so close to joining the Air Force and becoming a weatherman. I got the job as a weatherman, but I just couldn't do it. I tripped balls and 7 tabs of LSD, lies for comedy purposes, and basically, kind of just sat there and had an existential crisis for a week straight, and decided to drop out of the military and go to college. So yeah, basically, moral story is psychedelics basically make you realize who you are, and or like you're going down the wrong path, and then they make you like, and they quite literally just like they don't go like you're going down the wrong path. They're just like you are going to get PTSD from this.
You were gonna die from
You are gonna feel like you're on a you're gonna feel like every single emotion possible in the entire world, and then you're gonna feel like you're going schizo, and then you're gonna feel like the world is all made out of patterns of every single possible thing that's ever been, and then you're gonna go to sleep and wake up the next day like ah, just screaming inside, just wanting to die, just major depressive as like every single bit of serotonin was drained out of your body and put into existential dread mode. And then you just hang out with your free friends, like PTSD shell shocked. Moral of the story is if you do that, you'll find the way, brothers. You'll find the way. But yeah, back to my parents being a bitch. Yeah, basically, she loves me, quote unquote. Basically, she needs me because she's a psychopath and gets validation from people liking her. Cause just like me. So moral of the story is, yeah, she basically was like, "Please don't leave," and I was like, "Goodbye, bitch." And 2 years later, I came back, and when I came back, yeah, now she's just like, "Oh, you don't wanna get an elitist job they'll pay for me? Goodbye. Get out. Get out of the house. Gonzo. 1 year." And so when it comes down to it, yeah, it's basically if I'm not a useful tool, and if she realizes that I essentially don't need to value her, that I can move out of the house, that I'm not reliant on her, that I can be independent for 2 years straight and just not care at all. Yeah, when that struck her in the fucking she was just like, "Oh, just mentally disowned. I still love you," as a tool. It's just like saying I love my PlayStation or like I love my fucking card collection. It's like it's not love. It's like something different, like tool like. When they would try to involuntarily extend my contract to Iraq, I told them I was gay. Oh, that's fair. That's a good way to get out. She's such a bitch. Why do you want to live with her? Because I'm cheap and I'm psychopathic. I'm cheap and I'm a psychopath. So basically, when it comes down to it, even though she's a bitch, I don't want to spend money. I don't want to work a bunch. Now that I'm going back to working full time, um, I guess I'll be having plenty of money again. Unfortunately. Luckily, this job seems not as horrible as my last ones, so I'm not going to mind being full time as much. But yeah, I don't usually like working full time. I like to work part time so I don't actually have to work because I hate working. And yeah, due to the fact that I like to work part time, and I believe there's an obligation to donate to charity, as Peter Singer argues. I donate a good portion of my money to charity. I also own a cat. I'm also vegan, and I also hang out with friends and stuff, and game, and like have like facial products I use sometimes, like control my acne. So moral of the story is with that plus a car bill, everything and kind of adds up quite fast. And when you have a part-time job, last thing you need is to be paying rent of like $300 a month to like $500 a month on top of that.
Do
So
you donate? Do you report it in taxes?
I don't really pay attention to it, but I'm gonna do it this year. Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Why?
In my political belief, you shouldn't. I should, because I'm capitalistic and I feel like the more money I can save on my taxes, it will help me be able to donate more to what I believe. But it will give you tax breaks. You can get up to 30% tax breaks by donating. Like the most people
Yeah,
that donate
exactly.
get
That's what I'm saying.
30% tax breaks, and that's how a lot of like rich people get out of a lot of. They save a lot of money because they can donate $200,000 and they can make $5 trillion and get tax deductibles to where they get more money back from their 30% than what they spent.
Pretty much.
So I kind of find it shitty in taxes that you can record it. I find it really shitty that you can record your donations and taxes because when you go to St. John's and donate, that's not considered a donation. So when I donated 10,000 blankets, I didn't get any coverage from that or anything. But if you do it to like an actual physical cash donation or to an organization, then you can.
Fair enough.
So I find it really shitty and hypothetical, and then you would be getting tax breaks, which then you wouldn't be supporting your government, and you should go to not be supporting roads and like things like that, and like free water and stuff like that.
Yeah, we also hate living with our parents because we don't like being controlled. Unfortunately, my mom's like a really controlling bitch. She's not the most controlling bitch, but she's controlling enough that it's annoying.
No, she's a control freak. With that and our childhoods, she needs to know where we are constantly.
Oh yeah, she was a control freak, but definitely when we were kids. Now she's just like a bitch.
No, she's just a bitch.
Now she's just an asshole.
She's a certified bitch.
Plus, you can be gay while living with your parents. That's understandable. I mean, you're black, which means, statistically speaking, you imagine your parents are probably really religious, which means they probably aren't very, and they're probably traditionally religious, which means, yeah, you kind of get fucked if you're in the LGBTQ community. Luckily for us, my parents, besides my dad, are not traditional Christians. My dad is, but he's also a pushover when it comes to my mom. So, you know, otherwise I wouldn't be allowed to have these tattoos or smoke weed. I would be kicked out of the house long ago. But then he kind of just realized, oh, human beings can do things that I don't think are cool, and they can still be okay people. And then, now my dad actually understands that those things aren't bad to do. So it just took me a little bit getting used to. My mom, on the other hand, she was just like, "No, they love me. You can't kick them out." But then no, she was like, "Oh, they don't actually love me. Fuck you." And now she just wants us gone. So, because she's like, like she plays God. It's how it is. She quite literally is playing God. Like, you know how like you don't pray to Jesus, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, you go to hell. Basically, Christine. It's just like you don't love me. Fuck, get me on the street or something. I don't care. Get out. You gotta get your shit in order, I guess. At least she's not like kicking me out on the street like right away, but like, it's like fuck bitch. Like you're it's like goddamn, people sometimes live with their parents their whole life. Some people literally get entire houses and shit bought by their parents. Parents just buy them a house. Parents are just like, here, have this. Here, having a fucking allowance of like literally $1,000 every single month since you're like a kid and shit. And, like people literally do that type of shit, and parents are just like, yeah, I saved up all this money for you. Our parents saved up money for parents bullshit themselves. Have you talked to them about antinatalism? Of course I have. Talked to everybody about antinatalism. But when it comes down to it, my mom believes antinatalism is probably correct, but she doesn't believe in ephilism. She just thinks it's too depressing, and she doesn't quite understand it. But she thinks antinatalism's correct, probably, and that she probably shouldn't have had kids. But she's like, "Oh, I only had kids because Sean wanted kids." So, and I'm like, "Okay, you little fucking psychopath. Yeah, push off your responsibility of gestating us in your fucking womb for 9 months and not getting knocked up twice. Yeah, push it off and be like, oh, it's all Dad's fault. He wanted them." Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's just his fault. No, fuck you. You played just an equal part, and if you didn't want us, you should have stood up for what you fucking thought. Because Christ, I didn't want to be here. You're not doing anybody a favor by having kids besides your husband. Fucking pushover. My dad wanted to screw my brother over and leave everything to me. I told him that I didn't want it. No, that's fair. I mean, I'm glad you were kinder to your brother than, you know, than your parents are. Just thinking- But yeah, I don't know. My dad's not. He's not a good guy, but he's not bad. He's the average dude. He's just. He's just an average fucker. Yeah, I know. He's a douchebag. Man, I got you, Colin. I don't care about rap culture, gang culture. Sure, this cringe. They were they were cringe. I don't know. Fair enough. It was yeah, my family's a bunch of fucking psychopaths, basically and narcissists. Just the cluster B, just right up the alley. If you look at cluster B, we land on the whole spot.
That was just a hard bitch. He needed to find a bitch. You know what I mean? He's trying to find that hard bitch that. And mom was like, I don't fuck with parents. Y'all, I moved from Michigan over here, y'all. And dad's like, oh, Shorty's so fine. She said, fuck parents, bro. And dad was like, on the bar. And you're like, oh my God.
Colin, get the fuck out of here.
That's what happened, Brett. That's what happened. They met at a bar.
Did they?
Yeah, they met at a bar.
Oh well, shit. You guess you'd meet in a bar.
Like 4 or 5 more times in that month, and then they, yeah, started dating. Shit happened.
Fair enough.
That's why mom doesn't like him drinking. You know, that's where they met him. Because he's an alcoholic when they met him, and mom abandoned her family in Michigan.
Hey man,
They had rough lives growing up.
I know they had rough life. I know dad had a rough life. I know. I don't. Mom never talks about fucking shit for shat involving her.
To have her mom in the life that she has, you know what I mean? And that's she doesn't.
I don't know shit about mom's past, to be honest.
She's rich as fuck. She went to college. Grandma has a 4-year, 8-year education.
Yeah, I know grandma has an education and stuff.
They own all that land. They own the motorhome. He built the house. They sold the house that he built. You know how much money that is? They built
Probably a fuck ton.
Exactly. He also has that land and in the military. Mom ran away and she still has all this. Dad has nothing coming from a family of 13. When I talked to him one day about inheritance, when I mentioned the weed thing and shit like that, he said that he got nothing for inheritance. That's why I gave him some of his watches back from Grandpa that I wanted the ownership. He only got $10,000 when Grandpa died.
Damn.
Grandpa, he's told me about Procter and Gamble and how Grandpa Ed, he had like millions of dollars in their stock till today, but in stocks. dad owns some Procter and Gamble to today, but that's all been divided up between there's like 13 siblings.
That's because he fucked like rabbits. All his shit got divided up.
Yes, and also they have to pay for funerals too.
Those fuckers paying for funerals.
Funerals comes from their money, and then all the money that they have left gets divided among 13 people. It's not much, but mom has a lot, and he got mad when I mentioned mom inheritance and building a silver farm and making good project land over that, like building Upper Michigan, because we literally built houses up there off the fence. Like we repurposed the stems into wood.
Hey man, you do what you want, bro.
What he was like, we didn't get anything from that. I was like, you could have easily, like, I was like, Dad, I could have been rich if I had any inheritance. Like, if you guys gave me $1,000 at 15, you guys could have been millionaires by now. So don't tell me that you're not a millionaire because of your bad childhood. Because I'm looking to be the same way you are, but at the same options that you have. Like, I've been arrested and shit like that. So don't, you know what I mean? It's all about what you make life.
Fair enough. If you say so, call him Mr. Manifest.
What do you mean?
Mr. Just look at your stocks.
I am.
Anyways, get out of here. No, you don't, Colin. If you would hate this world, you would admit that you should be a pessimist. But you're like, I'm a realist. I'm okay with slaves getting fucked up the ass every day, so long as I get cheap things. I'm a realist. And I'm like, no, you're just a capitalist fucking cluster B motherfucker, just like everybody in this household. I'm the only one in this household who's not a fucking cappy, and I'm just a fucking psychopath. I'm just a socialist and a psychopath. Social psychopath, a pro-social psychopath. Yeah, socialist. Pro-socialist social psychopath. Yeah. Anyways, how's it bopping? Yeah, the anti-list informant left. That's okay. Doopy. No one's really watching at this point. Yeah, we were just ranting for 30 minutes about how bitchy my parents are. My dad's a very average guy. Kind of just a loser. But when it comes down to it, he's an okay parent. He's just not the greatest because he doesn't understand how to interact with his kids in a meaningful way. Other than that, my mom's a bitch, but she cares for us to a useful extent that we're useful emotionally, which kind of ran out in recent years, given that we didn't really give her much attention. And yeah, that's kind of backfired now that I'm living back with her. Yeah, I should have just fucking continued working full time and hanging out with friends. Christ. Anyways, moral story is life sucks. It'll never not suck. And there's plenty of reasons for it to suck outside of philosophy. But philosophy just kind of fucking doubles down and makes everything even like 1,000,000,000 times horribler. Because you actually kind of fucking realize it's objectively bad. You're like, oh damn. God damn. Oh, what the fuck? I want to see.
Fox News, as always, sticking to the important issues. And Jesse Waters here decided to grill a furry. Yes, you heard that right. A furry.
All right, David, how old are you?
I'm 32.
And what are you supposed to be dressed up as here?
Well, currently, I'm a raccoon.
And why are you dressed up as a raccoon?
Well, isn't it fun?
For you, you tell me.
Oh, for me, absolutely. I'm hoping it's fun for everyone around me. The joy of bringing smiles to everyone's face is really the only reason that I like to do this. Getting smiles and bringing people happiness in all sorts of ways. The furries, I know specifically, are great at art and dance and theatrical performance.
Let me just pause here to give you a little bit of the backstory. So Ron DeSantis, of
It's the most
course, has been
wild
cracking
thing
down on trans
I'm
people.
watching.
He's been cracking down on drag shows, and
fair,
basically, as an
fuck
unintended
furry. No, I'm
consequence
just kidding.
of
I don't
one
mind
of those
furries,
laws,
but also fuck
it has now
furries.
banned young people from going to any sort of furry event. Why? Because the argument from the right is this stuff is like inherently sexual. Look, is it possible that in some instances,
Probably
in some
is.
circumstances, this is sort of like a fetish thing for some people? Of course, of course. But that doesn't mean that every furry event is sexual by its nature.
I mean, technically
That's
based.
just not true, right? That's not true. DeSantis effectively banned this. And of course, his sycophants on Fox News are going to rush out there to defend him. Oh, no, what he's doing is really smart, bro. Focusing on the serious issues, like adults wearing costumes.
Well, I mean, you're also great at spankings. Did you see the video we just played? What's going on with the spankings at the furry conventions?
This is so disingenuous. He took a video of somebody dressed as a furry getting spanked, being hit with a paddle like once. And his extrapolation from that is everything, it's all sexual. Any event with furries is 100% sexual. That's his takeaway from it. It's just
I'm not a furry,
dishonest.
but
There's a
you know,
popular restaurant called the
I
Habra
wouldn't
House,
doubt it. But
and this is
it probably is
a
not.
restaurant
It's
that is
probably not.
pretty close to one of
Doubt
the
it, but probably
conventions
not.
that we set up
Wouldn't
every
doubt
year. And at the Habra House, it's customary in Germanic tradition to I guess slap the asses of all of the patrons. I don't know
Okay.
why.
I didn't know the
but
German.
That's kind of a ridiculous response, too. That's kind of a ridiculous response. Just make the argument I made, which is no, furry stuff is not inherently sexual in all circumstances. There are plenty of kid-friendly furry events. Just make that point. That's the point.
So why do you want kids around people dressed up as squirrels getting spanked?
Me personally, I don't.
Exactly. He doesn't. No normal person does. It's just, again, total red herring. Effectively, kids are banned from all these events, even if they're not adult themed. This is the unintended consequences. It's like with drag shows, right? The assumption is 100% of them are sexual. Yeah, but they're not. But that's not true.
I don't know, man.
So should kids stay away from adult themed things? Absolutely. But if it's not adult themed, it's, to steal an old phrase from Obama, which I think is perfect in this scenario, don't use a hatchet when you should be using a scalpel. Right?
Definitely an adult-only environment for that. The furry conventions themselves don't have anything to do with that, though. The furry conventions themselves are really about community and bringing people together. You know, a lot of us, we're not so socially, it's a little bit tough. You know, it's easy to make fun of furries.
Oh, that's actually kind of adorable, right? He's like, a lot of us furries are socially awkward, but this is how we like to get together and find community, is we dress up as furries and then we meet each other and everybody's like nice to each other. Come on, man. This is the issue that the right is like crusading on. Gotta crack down on these evil furries, bro. DeSantis, go give people health care. By the way, we talked about this a while ago, but it should be reiterated. Hundreds of thousands of Floridians lost health care because DeSantis rejected Medicaid money. That's what you should be focused on. Get people health care. Get people higher wages. No, instead, he's waging a war on the furry community.
Why are you upset that kids are not allowed to be at the furry convention?
Well, me personally, I think that.
Okay, now let's go to the next part here. I have been salivating to get to this. Michael Schellenberger over at his newsletter publishing an absolutely shocking new report. Let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. Quote, U.S. has 12 or more alien spacecraft, according to military and intelligence contractors. So Michael is reporting this after Dave Grush came forward to give us the broad contours of the program.
Sounds
He
like
said the
bullshit
United States government
distractions
is
to me.
lying to the American people. There are multiple alien spacecraft which are in the possession of the United States government, of which they have covered up now for decades, and which they have
Ooh, I'm not thankful for Thanksgiving. And my reason for that, you know, I know a lot of people get offended when I say things like that, but my thing is seeking truth. And I feel like in that truth, you have to be honest for what it represents. And it represents, you know, the killing of a whole bunch of Native Americans, but people don't like to talk about it. So my mission is to bring awareness to that. I can't support the killings of Native Americans because we all are Native Americans at the end of the day. And I don't want to hush up about it because, you know, I feel like if we do, then we're not waking up our people.
Something I'm not thankful for is marriage. I hated it. It was like the worst 2 years of my life. I was 21 when I got married. My father figure told me not to because it would be a mistake, and a mistake it was. So I'm not thankful for it, but I'm thankful for the lesson. And listen to your family first. They'll help you better than your friends, because your friends ain't gonna be there to see you fall. They're not gonna be there with you when you fall. So it's better to listen to your people that tell you and know what's best. They're gonna look out for you. They're not gonna let you. They're not gonna steer you wrong. They're not gonna tell you wrong. So
my pain in the ass kids that expect everything in the world and everything to be done for them without lifting a finger or a scintilla of gratitude for what you do for them. That's what I'm not thankful for.
For the public education system.
there you go.
School. That's good.
Because I feel like it fails more people than it helps. Really. That's honestly how I feel.
Ooh, I'm not thankful for my current relationship.
Is it gonna be ending or?
I hope so.
Honestly, I'm not thankful that there's only 24 hours in the day. Because I am in so many internships, I have so many goals for myself, and in school and in work, and I want to have fun with friends. There's just not enough time in the day to do it all like I want.
Sounds like you just need to balance your work life.
I'm 29
Stop
years
being a
old
simp.
and I'm still a
Don't be an
server.
intern.
Probably the thing I'm least
Dum-dum.
thankful for. So every year I try to get away from that. Next year, next Thanksgiving, I will be a career musician.
I'm not thankful for being an adult because, like, I wish I was a kid again, you know? Like, ice cream trucks, skateboarding, you know, all that, not worrying the world. I mean, the freedom of being an adult is cool, but the freedom of being a child is even cooler, you know?
People talk a lot about tolerance, but I don't think tolerance is as important as understanding. I'm not thankful for, I guess, the way things are going right now. I wish that everyone could just get along. I know that sounds so cliche. I have a son in the Navy, and I have two sons. One is 23, and the other's about to be 20. I'm Black, obviously, so both of my sons are Black. That's very, very scary for a single mom to know that your Black son is out there fighting, and then at any moment somebody could just take his life away without even understanding him or without even knowing him. And then on top of that, my son is gay. And he wears makeup way better than me. So there's just all of this stuff. I just wish, I'm not thankful for the way things are going, but I'm still hopeful.
Prisons. People that hate skateboarding. Well, I just think they're bad. They're just not helping humanity. But, well, prison, just lock you up and throw you away. So that's about it.
I am not thankful for angry internet trolls that don't know how to treat people with respect and kindness and don't know how to be nice and intelligent.
She's a Christian.
People get on there and they're mean and they tell people to hurt themselves or call them names and extremely disrespectful and it's aggravating.
I'm not thankful for the hard work I do on the job and on the pay that I get for the hard work I do. And the one that don't do the hard work, sit behind the desk, get the big pay and come out with the best success. I'm not thankful for that.
I am not thankful for people who forget the reason for the holiday. That's really it.
I'm not thankful for people not being equal and for people not doing the right things here.
World war and that people need to have pain, they have no houses, and yeah, stuff like this.
I am not thankful for the cold weather because where we live right now, it's really cold and dark and gray. So, and on the flip side of that, I'm really grateful to be here in the sunshine.
I'm not thankful for the people that I work with
How about no alcohol on the beach?
Houston Texans losing their star quarterback.
I think the people that are not thankful for the things that they have, or for the things that they achieve, or the things that they, I don't know, that they're giving, that God and people
fuck you,
give
bitch.
us, and that they are not thankful for. So I think
I'm not thankful
that's
for
my
people
answer.
who are like
So,
me. and
I'm not
don't
thankful for the feeling you
think
get
with
when you
the
wake up super
unnecessary
early.
fucking imposition.
It's the worst feeling on earth.
What does it feel like?
Like you want to die. I don't know.
I'm not thankful for when you have friends that ask for recommendations and you take them to a place and they end up not liking it and they blame you. That's the worst. The worst. Our president.
Donald Trump?
I'm not thankful for Trump.
Trump. I'm not thankful for Donald Trump. Have you heard that a lot?
I am not thankful for liars and cheaters. There you go. I'm not thankful for death. Oh, I'm getting deep. Hold on. This is real life stuff. Hold on. Why am I telling you real life stuff?
You want to leave it at that, or do you want to get more specific?
Oh, more specific?
I mean, it's up to you.
I don't care, I guess. Let's see. Specifically, my dad has cancer, and I hate it, so that's what I'm not thankful for. Not thankful that he has to go through all the suffering. Let's see. I'm not thankful for the liars, but I guess I am thankful that they taught me a lesson. I guess with being or not being thankful for something also leads you to being thankful for something. So it's like there is no such thing as being not thankful, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that realization that everybody in your life says that you're surprised that you're still vegan, meaning they either think that you're a weak individual or that like people don't go vegan. But this mix of probably that they think you're weak-willed, and then you're like, oh shit, I fucking hate people more every moment of my life.
The problem is they're putting a future at jeopardy. If human beings just stop reproducing, then there's no problem. They take billions of animals and exploit them, torture them, and harm them, and then they do this to human beings. We are entered in a whole pile of shitty lotteries, and you're going to win some of those, guaranteed, okay? If you enter 1,000 lotteries with a 1 in 1,000 chance of winning each one, you're guaranteed almost to win one of those lotteries. And so we're all fucked. We all know what the end is. It's going to be something. We're doomed in a lot of ways, and the longer we live, the longer we're exposed to all this risk. And some people pay the risk. You don't pay it, okay? Again, the argument is this is a Frankenstein experiment. There's been no study, no information whatsoever, no logic statement, nothing stating why this experiment needs to take place, what is going to be accomplished by doing this experiment. And I can point out the huge risk of this fucking experiment, okay? That you're putting a whole bunch of sentient beings at jeopardy. There's likely to be another fucking goddamn Holocaust. Very likely that billions of people are going to be killed in a very slow, miserable, horrible manner. That future is huge. There's a ton of suffering sitting out there being exposed, and there's no evidence that human beings give a shit about any of that crap. And so my argument to you is you stop putting people on the roller coaster, I'll say fine. You ride it as long as you motherfucking can. You can fucking supertronic your brain. You can fucking build yourself a little steel cage, put your brain in, and live there for 5 million years. Do whatever the fuck you want to your own fucking consciousness. But your fucking arrogance to think you have a right to conduct this experiment and continue this fucking experiment when you have no efficacy document, no statement saying this thing makes fucking goddamn sense, or that this goddamn risk or this goddamn suffering is worth your petty little fucking glory chase, your goddamn little endless pursuit of your goddamn fucking cheese doodle. So fuck you. Until you do that, yeah, that's right. I'm telling you the logical, provable, right thing for an ethical and decent human being to do is if he had the power to fucking eradicate the whole fucking thing with one little smash of his hand, it would be the moral and ethical thing to goddamn do. Because you people will not conduct the experiment in any kind of ethical, decent manner. You're irresponsible motherfucking pricks. You've admitted it. You keep reproducing for no good goddamn reason except your own fucking selfish self-indulgence, and then you glorify that. You say, well, it's great to be a slob. It's great to be reckless and sloppy and fuck everything to goddamn hell. It's great to take risks with other people's goddamn welfare. It's great to be a drunk fucking driver. Fuck you. You're goddamn Frankensteins. You're Dr. Frankenstein, sadistic, malicious motherfucking cunts. You don't have rights when you start imposing on other people. You're not giving birth to yourself. You're giving birth to a new human being who may not share your fucking values, and you have no right to put that consciousness in jeopardy. No fucking right. You're the imposer, and I would only be undoing the imposition.
Death causes pain for those who are left behind. Whether or not you want it to, it does. And that was kind of implied in that video.
Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, the grief is inevitable anyway, okay? It's somebody's going to die first, somebody's going to die second. What's the difference who does which? So I should live so I can watch people die that I care about? The longer I live, the more likely somebody else I care about, I'm going to have to watch them die. So it's another incentive to get the fuck out first, because then I don't have to watch it anymore. I don't have to see another cat die. I don't have to see another human die. I don't have to watch it. I don't have to feel it. I don't have to go through it. So you're making my argument for me.
No. Grieving can be dismissed. Because if we had a healthy attitude to death, then it wouldn't happen. Well, actually, that's not entirely true.
I think it is entirely true. It's so true, it's preposterously imbecilic that this truth is not even for a moment contemplated by people, because it's a big, giant truth. We are born into propaganda. The entire life generation motivation mechanism is instilled in us through propaganda, through fairy tales, through all this crap. And if we just started off a kid right from the start with the goddamn truth and said it's all a goddamn bullshit in your head, you're just a selfish little machine, you got little wheels turning, trying to figure out what your advantage is, this is how do we play the game, this is all kind of stupid. They wouldn't have any of this grief crap or any of this other kind of crap, because they would realize that these are all emotional goddamn mechanisms that are only intended to keep us running in a stupid wheel, chasing a fake piece of cheese at a horrendously, disgusting, obscenely expensive cost.
Unless you are completely isolated with no one who cares for you at all, your death will have an impact.
It's going to have an impact whenever it takes place, isn't it? And if you die slowly, 70 years later, or 30 years later, or 5 years later, then people have to watch you slowly die. Is that going to be even more fun? Do them a favor. Wait to die naturally and slowly so they can really enjoy the horror of watching you suffer. Intelligent life on this planet is not whistling your tune. It's only the ignorant, lowest common denominator who are still waving the banner at the fucking ball game. If you're not frightened of dying, of the dying process, then in my opinion, you're fucking crazy. You're just fucking crazy. I mean, being dead. Well, who the fuck is going to be afraid of being dead? Come on. We are living an idiotic lie. This is a replicating molecule. This is not fucking singularity bullshit. We're not doing anything. There's nothing being accomplished here except gladiator fucking war. All right, so again, glorify it as something else. Explain to me what it is if it isn't gladiator war. What else is it then? What is your mumbo fucking jumbo? What is your religious woo-woo alternative explanation for what the fuck we are?
Life is pain, y'all.
It's not Painbot's fault that he's this way.
Not
He comes from a
Painbot's
terrible
fault.
home. Give him a chance, and I know you'll see the good in him.
Well, maybe you're right.
It's got my arm! It's got my arm!
That thing's gotta go.
We're ending this on a positive note. We're not. This is true art. Pain. All I know is pain. Don't know insane.
All the joy I've known
gone down the drain. All I know is pain. Pain. All I know is pain.
Tears keep falling harder than the rain. Tried to hold on, but that was all in vain. And I don't want to live without you. Because there's no doubt at all. Oh, it's pain. Yeah, pain. All I know is pain. All I know is pain. Let me do something I'm gonna pain. And I don't want to live without you. No. Because there is no doubt at all. I know
is pain. All I know is pain. Anyways, that was beautiful little segment to end on. Goodbye.